It's into your head, the temporarily daily summer show for Monday. We've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Oh, topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. You've got topics coming out of this empty can of Tesco pineapple slices in juice. I've eaten the contents, except there's one bit left there. Hang a minute, just fish it out. I'll just fish out this one bit of pineapple, because if there's one thing I've learned in my life is that you don't waste fruit. It's fucking expensive. You don't just fucking leave it to rot in the can. No. You put it into your system and you leave it to rot in your stomach. Or wherever it does. I'm hoping it does more than rot. I don't want to I don't like the thought of putting organic substances into my body, because organic substances rot. I'd rather put artificial things in. And one thing you can say about artificial foods is that they're packed to the brim with preservatives and things that will prevent them from rotting in your stomach. What do you want? All these people who have these natural, healthy, organic foods, they end up having to get their fucking colon cleansed out every 3 days. They have to go up and say, "Hello, I think I've got a compost heap building up in my gut. Will you please hoover it out? Because I've been doing a natural diet and I've got crap inside my stomach now, so you have to have it hoovered out." The person in the clinic will say, "Fair enough. Do you want it naturally hoovered out or artificially?" And the patient will say, I'm against anything artificial. I'm an all natural person, so please do it naturally." And the person still says, "Fair enough. So you don't want me to use the suction device. You want me to suck at it with a straw, is it? Is that what you think you're here for now? You think if you can throw enough money at the problem, someone in a clinic will just get at you with a straw and suck it out manually? Don't be fucking ridiculous. We're human beings here too, you know. You probably go to Brussels as well, do you?" And the patient will say, "I think there's been a slight misunderstanding here. Although now that I think about it, I'm glad there was, because this conversation would have been rather tedious as the opening for a podcast otherwise." And the person at the clinic desk will say, "Indeed. Hello, and welcome to the show." Are you going into your head? Two cats walk into a supermarket. One of the supermarket goes straight up to the supermarket bar counter and says, "Hello, can I have a pint of your finest Guinness, please?" And nobody responds, because it's the fucking salad bar counter. And for one thing, it's not a bar. For another thing, it's self-service. You're supposed to get up your little plastic container and you shovel your salad in, and then you close it, and then you weigh it, and then you open it and you put some more salad in, and then you close it, and then you go to the checkout and commit fraud. That's what you do. Not if you're me, I wouldn't do that. I don't buy salad, but no, normal people, that's what they seem to do. You see them every day at the salad bar, going round with their tongs, because there's a sign up saying, "Please use tongs. Don't put your hand into this. And whatever you do, if you're buying fresh bread in the bakery section, don't touch it. It's very bad. Please don't touch the food that you're about to put into your gullet, because you don't want whatever's on your hands to be going into you." That's the same as putting your hands down your throat. If you do that, that'll cause you to vomit. It'll cause you to vomit up all over the place, and if you're still in here when you start eating it, then you may well vomit in here, and then you'll be closed down by the health and safety inspector. The health and safety inspector will come along and say, "Oh, that fella's vomiting there. That's a safety hazard. The floor is going to be slippy. No one's going to be able to get along on time to put up the yellow barriers that say, caution, slippy vomit on the floor in time." And someone could slip on it and break their neck And, you get the general idea. It's all hypothetical, of course. Everything's hypothetical until it happens. That's the thing. I can warn you about anything, and you can quite legitimately respond, "Oh, that's just hypothetical. You're speculating." Well, of course I am until it happens, but that doesn't make it any less real. So get down off your. Anyway, one of the cats goes up to the salad bar. I said that, didn't I? And he said, "A pint of your finest Guinness, please." And the security guard comes up behind him and says, "Can I help you, sir?" And the cat says, "I don't think so. You appear to be a security guard, unless you also double up as the beer disher outer person." And the security guard says, "Oh, the off license is over there, sir." And the cat says, "Oh, well, listeners in America know what an off license is." And the security guard says, haven't a clue. If they're over here, they'll go by our language, and if they don't like it, they can go take a running jump for themselves." And the cat says, "You've never worked in diplomacy, have you?" And the security guard says, "As a matter of fact, I have. I was the security guard on the American embassy in Dublin. I used to stand there, and people used to come along to the bulletproof window at the front outside the gate, and they'd say, 'Hello, can I come in, please? I'm American.' And I'd say, 'Prove that you're American.' And they'd say, 'Well, that's the problem. I've lost my passport, so I've come up to the embassy to see if I can do something about it.' And I'd say, 'Oh, I like the story. You just happen to be coming up to the embassy to tell us that you lost your passport, so you conveniently can't prove that you're American. Absolutely fucking ridiculous.' And then I'd send them on their way, and I'd tell them, 'You're lucky you're not in America, or I'd have you arrested. I'd have the law that come down on you like a metric ton of bricks.'" Do they have metric tons in America? They probably don't. Is a metric ton the same as a kilo? It's probably not. Is it 1,000 kilos? No idea. I haven't a fucking clue. There's a metric ton, and there's a imperial ton, except they don't call the imperial ton an imperial ton. They just call it a ton. It's a bit like football. They say, "Oh, there's football and over there, and then there's real football over there." And then you foreigners come along, you say, "Oh, is that what you call soccer?" And we say, "I don't know. This is what you call, that's what." I think I've got a bit confused. I may well have confused myself. I think I was trying to imply that Americans refer to soccer as that thing that foreigners refer to as soccer. I don't know. Maybe they don't. I'm not saying they do. I was just implying that they do. I'm not saying that I'm right in implying it. Although I'm perfectly entitled to imply fictional things. That's how the creative world works. You're allowed to have fiction. I can come along any day and make a movie about Barack Hussein Obama being an astronaut. I can say he's an astronaut from another planet, which I realise in movies is usually referred to as an alien. But I don't want to cause confusion or offence, because a lot of people would refer to people from other countries as aliens. So I don't want to be wrapped up in all that. I want it to be clear from the movie that I'm implying that his fictional presence in the movie is an alien from another planet. So I'd say an astronaut from another planet, or maybe just an astronaut, because why discriminate? Astronauts all have equal rights regardless of where they come from. Until, of course, they get to another world that has different rights in law. We're not talking about the legal situation. We're talking about the moral situation. All astronauts are equal, no matter where they come from, whatever planet. Even if they come from another parallel universe. If you have the same astronaut from 10 different parallel universes, you get the 10 copies of him together, they all have the same rights as each other. Now, admittedly, it could get complicated then. I don't know what you do. Would you have to do anything? I don't know. Just because they're standing there beside each other, why would you have to do anything? I can't imagine why. You don't have to do something about everything, you know. Maybe an unusual situation having 10 copies of the same astronaut from 10 different parallel universes there in the same room, but it doesn't mean you have to do anything about it. They may be perfectly content to just sit there until the situation ends naturally and they all go back to where they came from, or they all marry each other or something. You don't have to intervene in everything, you know. No need to intervene in everything. Intervention is not the be all and end all of everything. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to interrupt myself there. There's a point about 2 minutes further on into that segment in which I get to a point where I go, this is a load of crap, isn't it? And then I add, note to self, fade myself out at least 2 minutes before this point. Jesus Christ. So I'm hereby complying with my request, which admittedly you won't have heard. You won't have heard my request, but it wasn't directed at you. It was directed at me. If you don't mind, I'm going to interrupt my interruption there. That doesn't mean that this is the previous me who was interrupted, rising back up above the original interruption. No, this is a further me. Just so we're clear, there was an original me, and then there was the me that interrupted, and now there's a further me here. I'm the further me. I'm the third me. There's a trinity of me's on the go now. It's probably going to be about as entertaining as it gets in this segment, because frankly, the rest of my introduction is crap, and I don't like it. I don't like it. If you're going to interrupt yourself, at least be better than yourself. Set some goals. Maybe you should get someone else to interrupt you, because if you're just going to interrupt yourself, that's just pouring more salt onto something that's too salty and going, there's too much of me in that, and not in a good way, so I'm going to interrupt it with me. No, that's just like taping over a bad movie with the same movie when it's rerun on television a week later. That's fucking ridiculous. That's no way to run a podcast. People are waiting for this. They're waiting for their temporarily daily summer show, and they've come along here at Monday of week 2, and they're thinking, Christ, a week into it, and he's already hit rock bottom. He's gone arseways down a swing that's supposed to be, when he's supposed to be on the slidey thing, he's on the swing, and he slid down at arseways, probably down the the way there's a sloped pole usually holding up the swings. There's usually 4 diagonal poles, 2 at each end of the swing rail, and they're holding it up, and you've maybe confused those for the slide, which is in a different part of the fairground. You've thought, that must be the slide. You probably have a good reason. You probably saw this diagonally sloped pole, and maybe your 3D vision isn't working, and you think, that must be the slide. It's perfectly reasonable when you think about it. It's just not perfectly reasonable when it doesn't feel perfectly reasonable when your arse is sliding down it, I can tell you, and then you realise, this isn't the slide. Either that or the slide is a lot narrower than I thought. Maybe it's meant for children. Maybe that's the thing. Probably is, but still, nonetheless, no. Anyway, on with the show.
Remember, we value the opinions of you, the humble and ignorant listener. Email studio@intoyourhead.com.
Monkey nuts. That's what they call them. They call them big steaming, shit-eating, piss-boiling, pineapple slices, empty can, revisiting. I drink the rest of the juices from this. You're probably not supposed to. Yes, the juice, the bit that's full of all the unnatural sugars, or the natural sugars, or the crap. I don't know. Is the juice just there to keep the fruit clean while it's in the can? It looks rather dirty to me. Is it discoloured from the... I don't know. Will I drink it? Will I drink this? Please let me know whether I should drink the remains of these pineapple juices from the bottom of the can, or just carry them somewhere and pour them out. I don't know. Now this is being recorded last Monday for release next Monday. So by the time you get back to me, there may be some safety issues, food safety issues involved with drinking the rest of this can. I suppose There's a high likelihood that I'll be drinking more of these cans in the near future, so I can swap it out with whatever is my most recently opened can at the time, if needs be, if we revisit this issue. So no, I'll just let's pretend I poured this out. Let's pretend I didn't pour it out, but if you think I shouldn't have, then get back to me and I'll get out a new one, and then I don't know, you get the general idea. Suffice to say, I'm going to pour it out anyway, but if you are of the belief that I shouldn't and that it's wastage, get back to me and I'll pretend I haven't thrown out the remains of the juices of the can, and I'll recreate it by opening another one and cramming all the pineapple slices from it down my face. I've got an online grocery shop coming later in the weekend. There's even more cans of this crap coming, so there'll be no shortage of it. You can't have too many tins of pineapple slices, as it turns out. Maybe because they're one of the few affordable tins of fucking fruit in Ireland at the moment. In Ireland at the moment, if you want to go out and buy tin cans of fruit, well, for one thing, they'll say, why do you want your can of fruit tinned? It's already a tin. And I'll say, no, it's a can. I want my can of fruit to be in a tin. I want it tinned. Will you please tin it? And they'll say, I think you're a bit confused. And you say, damn right, I'm confused. This is supposed to be an online grocery shop. Who the fuck am I talking to? And they'll say, oh, you pressed the talk to someone button, and I'll say, but I pressed the talk to someone button, not to be talked at by somebody button. And they'll say, oh, I'm very sorry, sir. I thought it was obvious that what's meant by that is that you want to have a conversation with someone, a dialogue, a two-sided dialogue. It isn't if you want to do a monologue, just make a fucking podcast. And I'll say, that's exactly what I'm doing. And you're a figment of my imagination. And now you're a figment of the listener's imagination, who up till now had assumed you were real. And they'll say, Christ, no wonder I'm on minimum wage here. And I'll say, that's nothing to do with me. You're in a call centre in England somewhere. My vote in the election or wherever else I vote in has no influence on your wages over there, because it's a separate country. And they'll say, that's a good point. Although some would argue that the corporation tax affects what my employer is able to draw down over here, based on what the situation is in your country. And I'll say, this is getting a bit dull. For Christ's sake, we were having a conversation about pineapple slices on a humorous podcast, and now we've got on to corporation taxes. Would you go way out with that crap? Do you even have to pay corporation taxes if both countries are in the EU? And they'll say, I don't know. I'm here to advise you on your pineapple slices can inside a tin request. And you'll say, well, how's that working out? And they'll say, I think we've already dealt with that. I explained to you that what you're asking for is a tin. A pineapple slices can inside a tin. And I explained that that's not rational. And I'll say, do you think any of this is rational? And they'll say, good point. I'll say, thank you very much. Just give me 1,000 free club card points and we'll say no more about this. And they'll say, fair enough. And a great afternoon will be had by all. Good morning.
Sit, Pippi, sit.
Good cat.